Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and I'm going to be continuing the Unreal Engine talks. Today, I'm going to be informing you guys on a lot more information about Unreal Engine, the sets, and everything about the game. I know a lot of you guys look up to me when it comes to information, so when I get a lot of information, I will make sure to share it to the community. So that's exactly what I'll be doing today. After I read through this, I'll be letting you know my personal opinions and feelings on what I've just read. And you can let me know your feelings and comments down below. So, also, let me know if you like this UI design better. I thought, I'd do it kind of like a streamer where you got your big face here, and then I got like the little side over here where we can read exactly what's going on. So, with that being said, sets overview, let's start off with that. What are sets? So, as we know, Wargaming is planning on replacing the tech trees. All the tech trees as we know it and how you grind them, gone. There will no longer be tech trees as of Unreal Engine 5. In return, we have sets, and we can actually see an example of what sets are down here. These are sets. So we've got a bunch of different set designs, right? We can zoom in a little bit and get a better idea. So we have Generation T-34, and it's a bunch of different T-34s. We have this one up here, which is like an ARL. Okay, what else do we have? We have the Sand Spear, which is actually what Wargaming showed us in one of their little teaser trailers. So we have an E75 TS. We have what looks to be a Barkin and a Tiger P. And then we have the Shermans. These are all Shermans. We have ISU 152, it looks like, and the Object 268. We have the American vehicle. So we can see what sets basically are. They are groups of vehicles that are similar to each other in style. So we can see the Tiger 1, Tiger 2, E100. I would assume the E75's in here as well. This one has the Chieftain T95, the Black Prince. So in general, sets are Wargaming's way of trying to classify similar play-styled vehicles together. And we're going to read that if I zoom out a little bit and we go up here. We're going to exactly read what we're working with. Let me zoom out one more time. There you go. So, what are sets? Sets replace the old tech trees and organize tanks by themes. Example, turreted American tank destroyers. They include free, premium, collector, and special tanks. Special tanks are vehicles like the T-49 Fearless, the Lorraine Fearless. Those are what are considered special and not necessarily premium or collector. Okay, how to unlock sets? You can unlock sets with keys, a new currency earned by playing and leveling up. So essentially, as we've seen in the Wargaming teaser trailer, the location where your avatar is, there's also a level counter below it. I think we saw like somebody had a level 190. So basically, I would assume it's based off of the games you play and how you do in those games. You're going to increase your level. It's not like ranking where you pay credits either. It's an automatic thing. And because, I have 95, or actually 96,000 games on my main account now, I would assume that I'm going to have a super high level immediately when the Unreal Engine gets released. So because of this, you're going to have a bunch of keys and a bunch of the sets already unlocked if you already have all the tech trees. Yes, you will get the progress transferred. So let's say I grind, a bunch of tier 10s, a VZ55. When Unreal Engine comes out, that tank will still be in my garage, so I'm not going to have to grind that vehicle. It's already going to be there, which is really, really nice. So, yes, that is something to keep in mind. Once a set is unlocked, you can grind all tanks within it, but grinding all the tanks does not mean you can purchase them all. That's something I should say right now. For example, right now with the tech trees we have, you use experience to unlock vehicles, but then you spend credits to buy them. And credits will still be the way to obtain what are currently tech tree vehicles, but there's also premiums and collectors which will be in these sets. And you will need to spend gold to get those vehicles into your garage. So just like it would be purchasing a vehicle that hits the store. I do like one thing about this, and it's the fact that Wargaming is going to be adding a bunch of premiums and collectors into sets that we would normally have to wait to reach stores to buy. For example, I saw one of the sets has like a Kampfpanzer 50 ton, and I think it's kind of nice that a vehicle like the Kampfpanzer 50 ton, which is usually only sold once every 5 or 6 months, now will be permanently in the game in the feature of a set. And if you ever want to get the tank, you can unlock the set, you can grind vehicles in it, and also purchase vehicles with gold if you really want to. I actually think that's a pretty good idea. And I'm not against that at all. I think it's nice that we're going to have more abilities to purchase tanks that we may actually want to get. One of my friends really wants the 114 SP2. He's been wanting it for like a while now, and Wargaming hasn't sold it flat out. So if they make a set with the vehicle, honestly, he'll probably be pretty happy. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to result in new releases, because obviously Wargaming can't make a whole set for one new tank release, so we'll have to see what happens there. My guess is on first release, the vehicle won't be in a set, and then over time, Wargaming might throw it in one with a bunch of other premiums that are similar, after the vehicle's been diluted in the economy. But we'll have to see what comes of that situation. So that's kind of how it works. And we can see that right here. To get premium collector tanks, you must buy them with gold after unlocking them. Set experience unlocks higher level tanks and rewards like camos or premium tanks. So you can also get camos from these sets as well, which is pretty cool. So grind balance. Veterans will have most resources and keys to unlock nearly all content quickly. If you already, as I said, have all the vehicles in your garage, then they will also all be in your garage when when Unreal Engine gets released, which is nice. New players, easier progression with clear paths and simple UI, upgrade buttons, and midterm players likely to face the most grind due to fewer resources, but overall easier than before. Well, I don't understand how midterm players would have an easier grind than new players. I don't know about that, but I would assume that in general, veterans are always going to be fine. But when it comes to new players, we'll have to see exactly how this progression feels and if it's better or worse than the tech trees that we already have. Because I think we can all agree, not everybody wants the tech trees to be removed. They're pretty straightforward and simple. So now we arrive here to an example of a set. This is the Built to Destroy set. Has a Jackson T25-2. Not sure why that says 5. We have a TS60, a T28 prototype, T34, all on the same level. We have a T30 at tier 6, and then at tier 7 we have the XM66F and the T110E4. So basically, it's like grinding down a line, right? You have the Jackson T25-2, the T28 prototype T30, and then E4, just like we normally have, but then there's other vehicles added on. The XM66F will now be available for purchase instead of having to wait for it to reach crates, which is actually really nice. And again, I think that's something that's actually quite good about the sets. If they're organized properly, I don't have a problem with them. The only thing I'm worried about is the fact that they're going to be confusing. But we'll have to see. Again, I'm not against this idea as long as Wargaming does a good job on properly making it streamlined and enjoyable for everybody to use and understand. Okay, how progression works. Playing tanks earns experience to unlock a higher level tank. Play the Jackson and it unlocks the T25-2. At level 5, you can buy the T28 prototype with credits or buy the T34 and TS60 with gold. So essentially the way this works is you can unlock any level playing any vehicle. So let's say I get the T25-2, I can continue playing the T25-2 and skip the T30, TS60, T28 prototype, and T34 and just get right to the XM66F and T110E4 because all progression continues through the whole set. The XP contributes to the whole thing. So you could play only the Jackson and the T25-2 and unlock the T30, completely skipping the T28 prototype. Personally, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it's taking, well, the good thing is that if you really hate a tank, you don't have to play it. The bad thing is it also takes away experience from the game, instead of having to actually learn how to play a tank that you might not enjoy, you just have to skip it. So there's good and bad. I think this is definitely better for the community in general, though, because let's be honest, if you're not enjoying a tank and you want to get to the vehicle after it, you might just gold it. So I'm happy that this is the way sets are working. It definitely seems like they are easier and better to grind than tech trees, if I'm going to be entirely honest. So how progression works, as I said a little bit before, at level 5, you can buy vehicles, and then you have alternative progression. If you already own a high-level tank like the XM66F, you can skip the lower levels by playing it and grinding set experience directly, which is kind of what I was talking about before. Okay, and what do we have down here? Commander system. We'll talk about that after, because the commander system is not entirely directly related to sets. So here we are, special tanks. Some tanks, like the Fearless or Sheridan Missile, cannot be unlocked through grinding or purchases and are event explosive. That obviously makes sense. I can't imagine Wargaming would release the Lorraine Fearless, T49 Fearless, IS6 Fearless, or G-SOR Fearless in a set, unless they wanted to make like a specific set called the Fearless set, and then you had to have like a specific set of requirements to unlock it. Then I'd be okay with it. But it would have to be a skill-based set. That's what I will say. Vintage tanks, some lower tier tanks won't belong to any set, but will have their own matchmaking. Okay. Level 7, current level 10, these require reaching level 60 in their set to unlock. Okay. So you're going to have to get quite far to reach a level 7. Some tanks like FE2 and 5E183 need level 80 in their specific set. That's also good. I think the 183 should be a harder vehicle to unlock than other tanks. Difficulty tiers. Sets are categorized by difficulty. Expert sets like the T100 and newer players may need to progress significantly to access them. Yes, you heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. So the way some of these sets may work is Wargaming is actually going to restrict your access to them depending on your skill level. I agree with this. I know some of you might say, oh, that's taking away freedom of choice. But personally, I really don't think that a new player should be grinding a T100 LT, Bosch Chatillon, a Sheridan, or any light tank as their first tank. I feel like it should be either you drive a pretty average medium or a heavy. Those should be the options you get as a beginner. And then as you experience and learn how to play the game, then you can go for a light. I think that is the best way to do this. And I do actually agree with that. I think a lot of people would agree that the YOLOing lights and mediums who don't know where they're going is quite bad right now. And I actually like that idea. Difficulty tiers. Sets are categorized by difficulty. Oh, we already talked about that. Okay. So let's go down here. We have the commander system and other changes. So the commander system, commanders replace current crew skills and act like tank-based specialists with passive abilities. Commanders are unlocked by leveling up and cannot be purchased directly, and they can be leveled up for stronger buffs. They will be able to be purchased directly at some point, so we will have to see exactly what happens there. Other changes. Stock tanks, progression now works linearly, unlocking modules, guns, engines in a sequence with credits. Okay. So do you have to spend credits on the guns and modules? I hope not. That would really suck. Cosmetics and monetization. Flashy visuals cater more to new players. Economy changes are uncertain. Training rooms, stats, missions, and battle passes remain mostly unchanged. We will have to see about stats because they are removing the API, which is obviously rather huge information and something that I'm not entirely excited for. But we're going to find out. I just thought I'd break into this information. It's a little bit more understandable for people to kind of see how sets work. Something that's interesting in this photo, by the way, is we can clearly see there's a tier 8 here. Like, we can clearly see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why is this blacked out? Personally, I think that does say 8. And I think that Wargaming is going to have a tier 8 because why is it lined up like this? Why does it, it looks goofy that why wouldn't they make the numbers line up so they're perfect if they didn't want a tier 8? There will be a tier 8 in Blitz. It's a fact. I just give it a matter of time. It'll happen. And we can also see here, this is blacked out. Again, why is this blacked out? Maybe it says modern. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing tier 8s in Blitz. That's all I'm going to say. Maybe even on Unreal Engine release, we're going to be seeing tier 8s. We will have to find out. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of everything I wanted to talk about today. We obviously have quite a bit of information to still divulge, and the 24th is when Unreal Engine comes out. Today's already the 21st, so, well, the test of Unreal Engine comes out, not the update. So I'll be streaming Unreal Engine, and I'll also be making a video on it, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Set your clocks. I'll see you in the next one, and as always, if you enjoy this content, please consider smashing that subscribe button. It takes a lot of effort and time to make sure I'm up to date on everything. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.